There is something shifting beneath the surface of your life right now, Pisces. You may not be able to name it yet. You may not be able to point to it or explain it in words that make sense to someone else. But deep inside, in that quiet place where your intuition lives, you already feel it. Something is about to become clear. Someone in your world has not been completely honest with you. And the universe is getting ready to pull back the curtain. That moment is coming closer than you think. You are a Pisces, which means you feel things before you understand them. You sense energy before it arrives. You pick up on small changes in tone, in body language, in the way someone looks at you or avoids looking at you. You notice when words do not match actions. You notice when warmth disappears without explanation. You have been noticing something for a while now, and part of you has been trying to explain it away, trying to give the benefit of the doubt, trying to hold on to the version of someone you believed in. But the truth does not wait forever. It finds its way to the surface eventually, and when it does, it tends to find Pisces first. The next phase of your life is going to bring you clarity you have been quietly asking for. Some of it will be painful. Some of it will be a relief. All of it will be necessary. This video covers 11 signs that Pisces is about to see the truth about someone in their life, and why that truth, however hard it may be, is exactly what you need right now. 1. You keep having the same feeling and pushing it away. There is a specific feeling you have been carrying, and you know exactly what feeling is being described here. It is not a dramatic alarm going off inside you. It is quieter than that. It is more like a low, steady hum that never fully goes away, even on the good days, even when things seem fine on the surface. You feel it when you are around this person. You feel it when you leave their presence and something in your chest does not quite settle. You feel it at night when your mind goes quiet and thoughts rise up that you would rather not think about. That feeling is your intuition. For Pisces, intuition is not a luxury or a nice extra feature. It is your primary way of understanding the world. While other signs rely heavily on logic, on evidence, on things they can see and measure, you receive information through a completely different channel. You feel your way through situations. You read energy the way other people read words on a page. And your intuition does not make mistakes. What happens, though, is that your heart and your compassion sometimes step in front of your intuition and try to quiet it down. You love deeply. You care about people in a way that most of the world does not fully understand. When your intuition says something uncomfortable about someone you love, your heart resists. It offers explanations. It says maybe you are reading the situation wrong. It says maybe this person is just going through something difficult. It says maybe you are being too sensitive. And so you push the feeling down and you carry on and the feeling comes back again. The first sign that you are about to see the truth is that this cycle is breaking. The feeling is no longer staying quiet. It is getting louder. It is finding its way into your dreams. It is showing up in small moments throughout the day when your guard is down. Your subconscious is done waiting. It is preparing you for what is coming. When a Pisces can no longer suppress what they feel, it is because the truth is already close enough to touch. The sensation you have been trying to explain away is not anxiety. It is not overthinking. It is not a flaw in your character. It is one of the most reliable forms of intelligence that exists, and it is telling you something important. Pay attention to it now. The universe is speaking to you through that feeling, and it is asking you to stop looking away. 2. Small inconsistencies are starting to add up. You have always been observant. People underestimate how much a Pisces actually notices. Because you move gently through the world and rarely make a scene, people sometimes assume that you are not paying attention, that things pass over you without leaving a mark. But the opposite is true. You notice everything. You simply choose to process it internally rather than react immediately. You have been collecting small pieces of information for longer than you realize, and those pieces are now reaching a point where they can no longer be explained away individually. A story that changed slightly in the retelling. An excuse that sounded reasonable the first time but feels different now that you have heard it 3 times with different details. A moment of defensiveness that came out of nowhere when you asked a simple question. A shift in availability, in warmth, in the effort being put into the relationship. Each of these things on its own might mean nothing, but you are not looking at them individually anymore. You are starting to see the pattern. Patterns are what the truth is made of. Single events are easy to dismiss. Patterns are not. When you begin to see a pattern, especially with someone close to you, It means your brain has gathered enough information to start forming a conclusion. The problem for Pisces is that the conclusion often threatens something they value deeply, a friendship, a relationship, a belief in someone they trusted. So the mind stalls. It resists the conclusion. It goes back and examines each piece individually, trying to find the alternative explanation that makes it all okay. But you are past that point now. You have been past that point for a while. The inconsistencies are too many. The pattern is too clear. And very soon, one more piece of information is going to fall into place, and you are going to see the full picture. When that moment comes, do not be surprised by how unsurprised you are. Some part of you already knows. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. 3. Someone who knows more than you is trying to tell you something. There are people in your life who see your situation from the outside, and the outside view is often clearer than the inside one. When you are deeply invested in someone, when you care about them and have built something with them, your perspective becomes shaped by that investment. You want to see the best in them because you have chosen to give them so much of yourself. People who are not emotionally involved can see things you cannot. They notice things you have trained yourself not to notice. And lately, at least one person in your world has been trying to tell you something. It may not have been direct. People rarely say outright what they think about someone you love, because they know how much it can hurt. Comes through in other ways. A pause before they answer when you talk about this person. A change in expression that passes quickly. A gentle question that makes you think. A comment that was casual on the surface but stayed with you long after the conversation ended. Or maybe it was more direct than that. Maybe someone in your circle has already said something plainly, and you registered it but did not fully absorb it because you were not ready. Pisces, you are getting closer to ready. The people around you who care about you are not trying to hurt you. They are not jealous or misinformed or projecting their own fears onto your situation. At least one of them is speaking from a place of love, and what they are saying is worth hearing. Take a second look at the conversations you have had recently. Replay the things that were said or said in a way that seemed to hold something back. There is information in those moments. The universe sometimes sends truth through other people, and right now it is trying to reach you through someone who cares about you. 4. Your dreams are showing you things you cannot ignore. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusion, and the deep subconscious. This means that your dream life is not random noise. It is one of the primary ways that your inner wisdom communicates with you, especially when your waking mind is too busy or too emotionally protective to receive what it needs to receive. If your dreams have become more vivid lately, more symbolic, more emotionally charged, that is not a coincidence. Your subconscious is working overtime. It is processing information that your conscious mind has collected, but has not yet allowed itself to fully confront. Dreams do not always communicate in straightforward scenes. They use symbols, feelings, and situations that mirror the emotional truth of what is happening in your waking life. If you have been dreaming about water behaving strangely, water that looks calm on the surface but pulls you under, that is your inner world showing you a relationship that appears one way on the surface and is very different underneath. If you have been dreaming about being in a house with hidden rooms or closed doors, your subconscious is telling you there is something being concealed. If you have dreamed about someone behaving in ways that shocked you, even if the dream was not literally realistic, pay attention to the feeling that came with it. The feeling is the message. The image is just the delivery system. Keep a small notebook by your bed this week. Write down whatever you remember from your dreams, even fragments, even just the emotion that was left behind when you woke up. Read those notes at the end of the week and look for themes. Your subconscious is not trying to scare you. It is trying to prepare you. It is trying to hand you something you need before the truth arrives in your waking life, so that when it does, you will have the strength to receive it. 5. You have stopped making excuses for this person without realizing it. There is a very telling shift that happens inside a Pisces when they are approaching a truth they can no longer avoid. It is subtle and it happens gradually, but once it begins, it signals that the protective layer of hope and compassion that has been softening your perception is starting to thin. You have stopped making excuses for this person automatically. You used to do it without thinking. Someone would mention something about them and a defense would rise up in you immediately. Or you would notice something off and your mind would immediately fill in a generous explanation. That automatic response has slowed down. It is still there sometimes, but it requires more effort now. It feels more like a choice and less like a reflex. That change means something. It means that your emotional investment is no longer completely overpowering what you actually observe. It means your clarity is returning, even if it is returning slowly. When Pisces stops defending someone the way they once did, it is not because they have stopped caring. Pisces love does not disappear overnight. It is because something deeper has shifted, something in the foundation of how you see this person. And that shift is necessary for you to be able to receive the truth when it comes. You cannot absorb a truth about someone you are completely blind to. Your vision had to begin to clear first. If you have noticed that you are less eager to explain this person's behavior, less quick to cover for them, less likely to volunteer their side of the story when you talk about a situation, that is not a sign that you have become cold or unfair. It is a sign that you are returning to yourself. And from that place, what needs to be seen will be seen. 6. You feel a strange calm that did not used to be there. This one is harder to explain, but Pisces will understand it. There is a feeling that comes right before a big revelation. A stillness that is different from numbness and different from peace. It is more like the air before a storm. Everything seems quiet, but you can sense that something is building. You have been feeling something like this lately. It does not mean you have stopped caring or that you are not still feeling deeply. It means that some part of you has already begun to accept what is coming, even though your conscious mind has not named it yet. That quiet is the space between what you believed and what you are about to know. It exists in every Pisces who is on the edge of a major revelation. The acceptance begins underground, in the parts of you that are connected to something larger than your daily thinking. That part of you has already seen what is coming. It is already preparing the rest of you. When you notice this calm, do not fill it with noise. Do not distract yourself out of it. Sit inside it. Let it be there. That stillness is wisdom preparing to become knowledge. It is the universe giving you a breath before the truth arrives. Use that time not to dread what is coming but to remember who you are. You are someone who has survived every hard truth your life has ever handed you. You are someone whose strength runs deeper than anyone who has ever underestimated you could imagine. You are going to be okay. You are, in fact, going to be more than okay. But first, something needs to become clear. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. 7. Certain conversations have started feeling hollow. There are conversations happening in your life right now that should feel meaningful but do not. You sit across from someone or you talk to them on the phone, and the words are there, the topics are covered, the exchange happens, but when it is over you feel nothing was truly said. There is a kind of hollowness in the interaction, like you are both speaking from behind glass. You feel it, but you cannot always name exactly what is missing. What is missing is honesty. When a person is concealing something from you, or is no longer fully present in the relationship, the energy of your conversations changes. Words can be technically accurate and still carry nothing real. You can spend an hour talking to someone and come away feeling lonelier than before you spoke. Pisces feels this kind of energetic absence acutely. Your gift is connection. And you know the difference between a conversation that has soul and one that is empty. The hollow feeling you have been getting from certain interactions is not your imagination. It is information. When you are not receiving the full truth from someone, your body and your emotional intuition register that absence as a gap, a missing frequency. You might try to close that gap by reaching further, asking more questions, being more open, giving more of yourself. And the gap stays the same size. That is because it is not something you can close from your side. It exists because something is being withheld on theirs. Pay attention to how you feel after you spend time with the person this is about. Pay attention to whether you feel seen or invisible. Pay attention to whether you leave the conversation feeling lighter or heavier. Your energy does not lie. And what it is telling you right now is that something important is being left unsaid. 8. You have been guided to pray, meditate, or simply be still more than usual. For Pisces, spirituality is not a Sunday activity. It is a way of breathing. You are connected to something larger than everyday life. And that connection deepens during times when the universe is preparing to deliver something significant. Lately, you may have found yourself drawing inward more. The pull to pray, to meditate, to sit quietly and do nothing but exist, has been stronger than usual. Some days it feels like an urgency, like you need that stillness the way you need air. This is not accidental. When a major revelation is approaching, the spiritual part of you increases its signal. It is calling you to be grounded, to be centered, to be rooted in yourself before the truth lands. The universe knows that what is coming will require your full presence and your full strength. It is asking you to prepare by going inside. If you have been feeling this pull and honoring it, even if only for a few minutes a day, you are already doing exactly what you need to do. If you have been pushing past it, choosing distraction over stillness, now is the time to stop and listen. Whatever you encounter in that quiet place, whatever feelings rise up, whatever images or words come to you in those moments of peace, pay attention. That is not random mental noise. That is your deepest self communicating with you. And right now, your deepest self has something important to say. The clarity you have been seeking is not somewhere outside of you. It is inside you, in those still moments waiting to be found. 9. Something you find by accident is going to change everything. There is a specific way the universe delivers truth to Pisces. It is rarely dramatic. It rarely comes announced. It tends to arrive quietly, through an ordinary moment that becomes extraordinary because of what it reveals. You pick up someone's phone to check the time and see something you were not supposed to see. You overhear a conversation that was not meant for your ears. You ask a simple question and the answer that comes back does not match what you already know. You find something in a place you were not looking and what you find shifts everything. This kind of accidental discovery is not truly accidental. You were guided to that moment. The universe orchestrated the timing so that you would be in the right place to receive what you needed to receive. This is how truth often finds Pisces, not because you were snooping or suspicious, but because you were present in an ordinary moment and the universe arranged for the truth to walk through the door at the same time you did. When this happens, resist the urge to immediately explain it away. Your first instinct will be to give it a generous interpretation, to find the version that hurts less. That instinct comes from love, and it is beautiful. But this time, let yourself see what is actually in front of you. Let yourself sit with what it means without immediately softening it. You deserve the full truth. And when it arrives, you will be ready for it, more ready than you know. 10. The relationship has stopped growing and you know it. Growth is one of the most important things to Pisces in any relationship. You are not someone who is satisfied with things staying exactly the same forever. You want depth. You want evolution. You want to feel that the person you are investing in is also investing in you, that together you are moving towards something, that there is a future being built. When growth stops, Pisces feels it as a kind of slow suffocation. It is not always obvious at first because you are patient and you give people enormous room to move at their own pace. But at some point, the absence of movement becomes impossible to ignore. You have been feeling that absence. The relationship you are thinking of has reached a ceiling, and it reached that ceiling not because you stopped trying but because something on the other side was already decided, already closed, already somewhere else. The truth is going to reveal why the growth stopped. It is going to explain what that wall was made of. And once you understand it, once you see the full picture, you are going to understand that the growth could never have continued from where things actually stood. You could not have built on a foundation you were not allowed to see. But you will see it now. And with that clarity, you will be free to choose what kind of foundation you actually want to build your next chapter on. 11. You are being prepared for something better on the other side of this. This is the most important thing being said in this entire video, so let it settle in fully. Everything that is coming, the clarity, the revelation, the difficult moment when the truth becomes undeniable, is not happening to destroy you. It is happening to free you. Pisces is a sign that gives everything. You love with your whole heart, your whole soul. You invest in people and in connections with a depth that most of the world does not even know how to reach. And sometimes, because of that depth, you hold on to things longer than they deserve to be held. Not because you are weak, because you are loyal, because you believe in people, because you would rather keep giving than give up. But the universe has a limit. At some point, when you have given too much to something that is not giving back honestly, the universe intervenes. It clears the path. It removes what does not belong there so that what does belong there can finally arrive. The revelation coming your way is a clearing. It is going to feel heavy in the moment. It may bring grief or anger, or the kind of sadness that sits in the chest like a stone. Let yourself feel all of it. You are not required to rush through it or pretend it does not hurt. But know this with absolute certainty. On the other side of this truth is a version of your life that is more honest, more aligned, more real than what you have been living while protecting an illusion. On the other side is space. Space for the right people, the right love, the right energy. Space for something that does not require you to suppress your intuition to survive. You deserve that space, and very soon it is going to open up for you. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal, and you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. What is about to happen to you is not a punishment, Pisces. You have done nothing wrong by loving someone deeply. You have done nothing wrong by giving the benefit of the doubt. You have done nothing wrong by choosing hope over suspicion. That is who you are, and it is one of the most beautiful things about you. The world is better because of the way you love. But now it is time for that love to be redirected towards someone and something that deserves it fully, that will not ask you to close your eyes to function within it. The truth that is approaching is not the end of your story. It is the correction of its direction. When you know what you are about to know, you will have a choice to make about what comes next. And the choice that honors you, the one that your intuition will confirm, is the choice to keep moving forward. Not with bitterness, not with a closed heart, but with eyes open, with your feet on solid ground, with the hard-earned knowledge of what you need and what you will never again accept in its place. You have been walking through fog for long enough. The clarity that is coming is going to feel like sunlight after a long cold stretch of gray days. It is going to feel like breathing fully for the first time in a while. Let it come. Let it illuminate whatever it illuminates. And then, when you have seen what needs to be seen, let yourself begin again. Not smaller than before. Bigger. Wiser. More fully yourself than you have been in a long time. This is not the chapter where Pisces loses. This is the chapter where Pisces finally sees clearly. And a Pisces who sees clearly is one of the most unstoppable forces in this universe. Trust that. Trust yourself. The truth is almost here.